So then as we begin to demystify this, and the person starts to say, oh my God, the disease that I have is because it's connected to this personality. Is it possible that if I change my personality, just like a person with the multiple personality disorder, who has an allergy to nylon stockings in one personality and type 1 diabetes in another, is it possible then if I change my personality, that the disease exists in the old personality and I'm literally someone else? Is it possible then from a biological standpoint that they're healed and changed? So to answer the question, it's difficult because we're breaking out of a biological mold. It's difficult because most people don't know that they have within their reach all the tools to do it, because they have, number 3, been conditioned on some level to believe that the new hairstyle or the new type of beer they're going to drink or the sports car or whatever it is going to change their state. And that's the hypnosis. And when I wrote The Placebo, You Are the Placebo, the biggest thing that I walked away with after writing that book was how hypnotized and programmed we really are. And that's bothered me ever since I wrote the book, because people watch things in their external environment and they accept, believe, and surrender to that information without any analysis, and they're programmed. And so when you and I start waking up and say no to those programs, and we start to think that we're maybe a little bit more unlimited than we're given credit for, and it's not driven for profits or self-interest, but when people start to wake up and say, hey, you know, I healed myself of this condition, I healed myself of Parkinson's, I healed myself of lupus, I've healed myself of cancer, I've healed myself of rheumatoid arthritis, I've healed myself of chronic pain, I healed myself of food allergies. Hey, yeah, I was abused as a child, yeah, that's right, I was beat up by a violent father, and I lived in vulnerability and fear for the last 25 years, but that fear has signaled the wrong gene, and I developed this genetic condition. The doctors said I had no way of healing, but when I overcame that fear and I broke out of it, I started to signal new genes in new ways, and that disease doesn't exist. Let me tell you, if you listen to that woman's story, and you listen to all the trials that she had gone through, and how she overcame herself, and she reached a place of such wholeness and self-satisfaction that she could care less if she had the disease, and that's the moment it went away, and you listen to that story, it's going to give you permission on some level that it's possible for you to do the same. You see someone dance the salsa well, you'll dance the salsa better. You see someone hit a golf ball like Rory, you'll hit a golf ball better. You see someone lead with love and compassion in their life, you will lead with love and compassion in your life. You see someone stand on a stage in front of 500 people and talk about how they overcame their cancer after their husband committed suicide, and the 3 years that it took her to do it, you will be inspired that it's possible for you. So then it has to start with a new consciousness, and that it's going to come from common people doing the uncommon, and that's where my passion is. We do have beliefs that feel good to us because those beliefs are based on past experiences, and those emotions keep us attached to the belief chemically. It's in our biology, and we tend to think neurologically and feel chemically within experiences then that are connected to the past. So when our beliefs are challenged, we hold on to the emotion, like Jesus had a brother, what? Mm-hmm. That doesn't feel right. You know, he was married to Mary Magdalene, what? You know, I mean, people freak out because they've been conditioned, and they want to hold on to that because that then ensures a future that they can rely on. When you step out of your belief systems and stepping into the unknown, you are now leaving behind your past. And then, so then you have the faculty and the ability to create. Do you have that ability? If not, because then in order for you to go from that old belief to a new belief, then you better have a plan, and you better be willing to have a new experience that is no longer a wishy-washy belief. It has to be a very strong impression in your biology. It comes with an accompanying experience that then changes your biology to understand you believe something else. But that's not the end either, because then you have to question from that point, What is the next belief that helps you to understand the next thing? For example, think about this. The person in our work who, I'll use a simple example, has a very, very difficult marriage. And her marriage falls apart, her husband was abusive, and lived by the stress hormones for an extended period of time. Of course, all her energy is going for some threat in her external environment. She has no energy in her internal environment for growth and repair. No energy for long-term building projects. The body is in vigilance. It's always anxious. She's anticipating something bad happening all the time, and she's got food allergies to everything. She's allergic to her environment. She comes to the event, she does the work, it takes her 3 months, and all of a sudden, in one event, she has a breakthrough, and she's eating anything she wants. Now, she's changed her belief about her past because she's no longer saying, I am this way because of my relationship with my husband. See, because when you say, I am this way because I had an abusive father, I am this way because I had a difficult marriage, I am this way because I got fired from my job, what you're saying is, I haven't changed since that event emotionally. And so now you're viewing your future through the lens of the past. When you overcome that emotional state, a memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom. Now you're ready to create a new future, because if you're still attached to the emotion, you're still attached to the past, and you can't create a future. You know, we have people that understand that if you can begin to change the patterns in the field, you can change matter. It's not matter that emits the field. It's the field that creates matter. If you change the field, you change matter. You don't change the tumor, you change the pattern in the field, and the hologram of the tumor changes. So we go an extensive understanding on this. And now we're doing these coherence healings, and we're seeing people have instantaneous changes in their health. I mean, instantaneous. And so now this group of people say, well, God, if I'm truly in the quantum field, there's no separation. I don't actually have to have the person in front of me that we're healing. I just need a picture or a coordinate, and my thought will connect me to them because there's no separation. I'm connected to everything in the unified field. The unified field, the invisible field of energy that connects everything material. If I get there, then I don't need to be in the presence of that person. So we have hundreds of people doing these coherence groups, these co-heal groups. And here's a lady that they do them at breakfast and lunch. They call them the Hallelujah Amens. And if there's a child that has leukemia or Hodgkin's, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, if there's someone who has a serious health condition, they work with 3 songs at breakfast. They do 1 person per song, so they do 3 people in the morning, and then they do 3 people at lunch. Well, lady's driving down the road, and she realizes it's time for the co-heal session. She pulls over on the side of the road in a neighborhood. She turns her music up. She gets right into it. Next thing you know, she gets a knock on the window, and it's a police officer. And the police officer asks her to roll the window down and says, what are you doing? You know, we're getting calls from the neighbors. They think, are you sick? Is something wrong? Is it an emergency? And more importantly, they're wondering, there's children around here, if you're safe. And she said, no. We do this coherence healing thing, and I was just tuning in to the people, and she's got the music blasting. And he leans over to look into the car, and when he leans over, he jumps back. And he looks at her, and he said, what just happened? She said, what do you mean? He said, the pain in my back just went away. I don't have, he goes, I was in a lot of pain. I don't have any pain at all. And she said, oh, you were healed into wholeness with love. And she gave him the wink and rolled the window up and took off. Now that's the side effect of what could happen in the change of energy. He had direct experience of it. She did nothing. He just entered a coherent field. So you start seeing these unusual things happening.
And that you see it all the time. Yeah.
That they're becoming the new normal and having an effect. Like, that's how powerful you are. That's how powerful that lady is. She can't wipe the smile off her face, and the police officer's walking around going, oh, you're not gonna believe this. You know.
And most people wouldn't believe it because it's not in their reality.
Right, but now, but that's the point.
Because that's changing.
What's happening? Footprint in consciousness. Somebody heals from a health condition, MS, lays a footprint. Someone heals from a rare genetic disorder, footprint. Someone heals from a brain tumor, footprint. Someone heals from Graves' disease, footprint. Someone heals from Hashimoto's syndrome, footprint. Now you have these footprints in consciousness that are literally patterns in the field that are more readily available that people can access. At the same time, you have that three-dimensional experience of the evidence sitting right in front of you. You see it right in front of you. That person's scans show that they're completely better. Now you have evidence in three-dimensional reality. You have evidence in the field. There's a footprint there people can step into. Now, what happens is it becomes that collective 4-minute mile thing. Like, we're broken through the 4-minute mile. Now everybody's starting to do it. There's a change in consciousness. That's becoming what's making it so exciting, that people want to be a part